We're coming to you live from the beautiful snow white, crispy cold tops of the Rocky Mountains in the Pacific Northwest of the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dark Wolf, and I'd like to welcome you once again to the den. I hope everybody's doing absolutely amazing. We're waiting for our guest to come on tonight. I've sent him the link, so should be just a couple moments. He should be popping in with us and hanging out. In the meantime, I would like to direct everybody real quick over to my page, and specifically, you go to somebody's page, they've got a community tab over here. And YouTube's recently released these to a lot more creators. And if it'll load in the community tab real quick for me, there we go. You notice there's a couple posts over here. We have some polls, things like that. A lot of creators are putting these on their pages. So if you haven't yet, make sure you guys go over here and check out our communities page. We got a couple polls set up already, a couple questions we've asked. We may add a couple, well, I'm sure we'll add a couple more in the future. That one's dead up 50-50. What was that question? Do you think the earth ripple that occurred on 11/11 could be the Mandela effect? Man, split right down the middle on that one. So you guys go over here, check out the community page, and make sure you check out the community pages on other people's YouTube page also. Pop over here to chat real quick, see what's going on. Michelle, how you doing? Great to have you here. Poppy, Summer, Sharky, great to see you, Sharkticon. Hope everybody's doing absolutely amazing tonight. I know I am. Enjoying this time off while I got it. Kevin, hey, thanks for hanging out with us. See here, go ahead and stop the screen share real quick and wait for our guest to pop on here with us. Isn't that such a nice fireplace? Sorry. Bill Bean extends his sincere regrets that he was not able to join us today, guys. Something came up. He got real busy. It was a hectic day for him. He said he's very much looking forward to coming back next week and picking up the conversation right where we left off, which I'm really looking forward to that. I hope you guys are too. Make sure you go back and check out yesterday's half-hour conversation we had. It's kind of works for a nice little teaser for what's coming up. Preliminal, hey, great to see you, bud. Appreciate you hanging out, stopping by. This is going to be kind of a more laid-back, easy-going type stream. As of the moment, you guys want to discuss something, whatever the case may be, feel free to bring it up in chat. 13 viewers already. Hey, everybody. Oh, something else. Let me see what page I can show you guys this on, because they only let us show certain things. They don't like us showing certain things here on YouTube. So let me go get one of these pages back real quick, and I want to talk about something. I know a few creators, you already have got this. Some of you creators have seen it already. Some of you might not have. Richie from Boston apparently just did a video on it also. So I should be able to show you this page. They shouldn't get mad at me for that. All right, let me go ahead and drop a screen share real quick, and I'll show you guys what I'm babbling on about. All right, there's a blue bar up here at the top. And I guess all creators have got this. On December 13th and 14th of 2018, you may see a noticeable decrease in your subscriber count as we remove spam from your channel. I guess they're going through a lot of people's YouTube channels and doing the unsubscribe thing for what they call, quote, dead accounts. Glenn, hey, we're ready and waiting on you, Bubba. James Johnson, thanks for stopping by. Nyakis, great to see you. Vanny Rose, hanging out, awesome. But yeah, if you guys see a significant drop in your subscriber counts, YouTube's messing with the numbers again, so you guys know. Going through and clearing off what they call, quote, spam accounts. I don't exactly know who gets to decide what is or is not a spam account? I guess, you know, Silicon Giants get full say and all that, right? Yeah, this is kind of commonplace for YouTube to do. They did just do it a few months ago, but they're going back through and doing it again, guys. So you're aware. I guess I'm not the only one to receive this. Like I said, Richie from Boston just dropped a video about it also, which tells me other YouTubers are getting this. Probably every single creator on YouTube. Just letting them know they're going through their channel and messing with their numbers, because that's what this channel needs, for YouTube to mess around some more with its numbers, right? Oh, man. All right. So just to let everybody know, that's in the works. That's what YouTube is up to. I saw that earlier. I was really kind of shocked that they actually cared about my account. Then I realized they don't. Go figure, right? And their excuse is to make it a fair playing field, because, you know, YouTube's a fair playing field. Sure, I'll buy that. It's about as fair as Germany in the 40s, you know. When you've got certain ones, they can control what is or is not put out to the masses, what channels get pushed and what channels don't. That's censorship. That's short, sweet, and simple. That's censorship. and you can have CNN and Fox and all them come on and show their stuff, but if we show CNN or Fox or NBC on YouTube, guess what they do to us? They shut down our live streams. They strike our channels. They give us all kind of problems. I lost a couple subscribers on that Germany, or a couple of viewers on that Germany comment, huh? Sorry about that. It's horrible. I seen in the last 2 weeks, I know my numbers have fell significantly. I have one video that went darn near to viral, and the numbers were picking up, it's looking really good. Then all of a sudden, it just hit a wall. It just halted. I can understand we're in holiday season. I get that. But you've got more people traveling, more people spending time in vehicles and whatnot, more people on cell phones and things of that nature. You know, more people would be watching YouTube, in my opinion, in the holiday season. I get you're out shopping, but that's the whole point. You're out and about. You've got your phone with you listening, as whatever the case may be. 9 times out of 10, I know a lot of people do. A lot of people do. Ronan, great to see you. Rigo, thanks for stopping in, checking in with us. Who else we got here? Nobody else new yet? All right. Oh, we do have somebody new. Glenn, welcome. How you doing, Bubba? Sounds like I've got a bit of a feedback loop there.
Okay, I can hear you.
There we are.
Let me click off the.
Sounds like I've got a bit of a feedback loop there.
Okay, I can hear you.
There we are.
Let me click off the. Okay, I can hear you.
There we are. Ladies and gentlemen, Glenn Meek has decided to join us this evening to do a show on a couple different topics. I know we're going to touch on CERN, and of course, that's always a great Mandela effect topic. I guess he's got some information on that he would love to present to you guys and show me, and among other things. So we look forward to finding out what we can find out. Yes, he's having some audio technical issues over there. As soon as he gets back, we'll continue on here. Cupcakes, great to see ya. See X's and O's and happiness all around. That's what I like to see. Yes, Michelle, definitely. We do need to get that findings video out. I agree.
All right, I'm not sure if I'm straightened out or not yet.
There we go. Sounds good to me.
You can hear me? All right.
I can hear you loud and clear, and I don't hear no echo or feedback.
All right, well, that's great. I don't have any images other than the fireplace on the screen, so.
All right. You had a coordination for me the other day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and drop that in the side chat here, and I'll plug it into Google Earth.
Okay.
Go ahead and get Google Earth pulled up here.
All right. Well, I'm having trouble pulling up the side chat. All right.
Or if you know it, I guess. Okay, you got it. Good deal.
Now, let me see. All right. You'll have to put this in pretty much just the way it's written. All right. Here we go.
Bear with us, guys. Just one moment. Like I said, this is going to be more informal. This isn't exactly like a standard show. It's just kind of a hangout, a fireside chat, if you will.
All right. Did it come up?
Yes, it did. All right, so let me go ahead and grab that. Go ahead and do a screen share real quick. Ta-da! I feel like Dale Dufay over here at Google Earth.
I feel like Elon Musk.
Right. You ever watch Dale Dufay stuff?
I have not. I have not seen it.
I like him. He's got a like long-haired hippie look to him. He's got an interesting theory on the Mandela effect that he wholeheartedly believes in. I don't exactly go with his theory, but his passion about it, I just cannot get over, you know?
Right.
He does a lot of globe trotting on Google Earth.
You know, I actually do the same thing. I especially use Google Earth when I'm going to go out hiking into a new area.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because I'll limit myself to trying to stay within like a 2 to 5 mile radius of where I'm going in hiking. So I want to see what's all around me. So that way, if something goes wrong, I can text or make a phone call and tell somebody, hey, look for me at, due west at this position near this body of water or whatever. And it's a good safety feature.
Plus, you know where your emergency points are too.
Right.
Yeah, I need to do that more often before we go out, but I got a bad habit of not doing that. Till we're out there, there's no cell phone service. Oh, yeah, I should have.
Right. Yeah, it's usually when an emergency happens is when you think about you should have been prepared.
Never before.
Right. I guess that's why they call it
have any new information on Sasquatch lately?
No, I've been recovering from the shoulder surgery and still possibly looking at back surgery. So it probably won't be till after the first of the year before I actually get back out and go to some of my hot spots.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm glad to hear you're healing up good from that surgery too. I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, it really surprised me. I've had the same shoulder operated on. This is the second time now, and I thought the recovery would be just as quick or quicker, and it wasn't. So it's you know, kind of a downer, but then again, old age is creeping in, I guess.
Did you have surgery on the same spot twice, you said?
Yes.
That's why scar tissue does not heal that well at all.
No, and they reattached my bicep this time, which they didn't do it the last time. So
what were you punching?
I don't know, but whatever it was, I'm not going to punch it again.
All right, so we've got these coordinates punched up in here to Google Earth, and it says it took us straight to CERN.
All right, if you could stop right there, Jerry, that first view that you got right now, that's a perfect spot to start.
All right, well, if the darn thing will stop moving around, now here we go. Pull it down and stop.
All right. Now, when you look at this image, what sticks out the most to you when you're looking at it?
Well, of course, the great big ring in the middle sticks out to me.
Right. Now, the other thing sticks out to me is if you look, and it should be the same position on your screen. If you look to the right of where CERN is, and you see all that open flat land,
yeah,
why is everything bunched up into that arrow shape as it is? When you have so much land all on the right-hand side that isn't developed, but it's certainly not overgrown like the left-hand side with the forested areas.
Right. Now,
there's actually a golf course right there.
Let me pull back over here and see that that's only like that in that one spot, right?
Right.
Yeah. I don't see anything to the right. I don't see anything to the left. So, yeah, that's the only area that's triangled out like that. That's interesting. That's a good point. They got a lot of open forest here, a lot of farmland here they could have took.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And the now the border, if you zoom in a little closer, you'll see where the border is, the Franco-Swiss border, how it comes down and drops. But that
okay, so they're literally on the border.
Yes, they're right there, and if you see the centerpiece again, it's a mound the way you're showing it.
Right.
But the border itself is not an issue as far as how they've laid out the facilities there. So they could have went, as I said, into a different direction. But even the buildings themselves, everything looks like it's just been squeezed right into that arrow shape.
It really does, doesn't it?
Now, the other thing that once you zoomed in closer, you'll notice it from to the left of the big mound there, you'll see what I call roundabouts. I guess that is probably their correct name for a traffic flow.
Right. That's a roundabout, yeah.
You see one there, but then you'll also end up seeing several more in here. If you go to the back edge of this triangle, you'll see 3 of them.
All right, so let me zoom back out real quick. Give me 1 second. Going to the back edge. Now, what's this? That's another one of their rings.
Yeah, that's another one of the circles inside the. I'm just going to call it an arrow for time being.
Of course, yeah.
But if you look on back, right there is where your cursor is. If that's your cursor, I see. There's one right there, and then directly to the left, you'll see one on that main road. You'll see another circle highlighted. But then over here to the left of that main road, do you see the little dome-shaped area right there? Yeah. That's what is called their globe of science. And when you look at it from from the ground view, it is a complete dome, and it contains 18 of those beams going directly across it, intersecting.
So each one of these lines going up the edge of it would be a beam then.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling it now. You can still see some of the construction equipment there too, but
Gotcha.
now another thing that's real curious on this is look at that parking lot back behind the globe there.
Sorry about that. Let me turn my phone down real quick. Apparently, we're not the only creators on YouTube. Go figure. Give me 1 second.
All right.
All right, ringtone has been silenced. For those in the real world trying to get a hold of me, sorry, ringtone's on silent. So, this parking lot here, yeah. What an odd shape there at the end.
Yeah, and look at the color variation there. Half of it's white vehicles, and then the other half is normal.
Huh. And the normal ones are in well, most of the normal ones are in the blue sector.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them now, understood, but good majority.
Now, the one thing I can't figure out because I've not been able to zoom in close enough is that looks like a transport bus of some sort to the far left of the white vehicles. And they're all, I mean, these things are plain, tinted windows. I could not see on the ones I tried to zoom in on any lettering. It does look like there might be some, but I don't know if that's the door panel trim or what. But then you've got all these smaller vehicles over here just bunched up like golf carts. I mean, they're just they're tiny little vehicles.
All packed in there together.
Right.
I wonder if they're Fords. Just kidding.
Well, you know, the strange thing about it, though, is when you start noticing the parking lots around CERN and how many cars are there, and you do not see a person walking on the grounds anywhere, which I find very odd to have that large of a shop with that many vehicles, and you cannot catch a random person walking somewhere outside on a Google Earth shot.
Well, here's the funny thing. They've actually got the people walking thing right there along the edge of the cars.
Oh, yeah, painted onto the parking lot, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's something else here. In all these white cars, we're down here in this bottom corner. There's one dark vehicle.
That's a nice catch. I didn't see that.
I'll show you where we're at. Right down here in this bottom back corner. All these white cars and then that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I know probably making a little bit of something out of nothing, but that is out of place.
Well, you know, the main thing to me is that you have to be, or at least in some of the fields I've worked in and things I do, is try to be detail oriented. So I try not to overlook anything, no matter how insignificant it might be, because the best place to hide something is in plain sight.
Right out in the open. You got it. That's one of my favorite things to do, if you will, is hide something right in front of somebody's face.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if you pull back out, Jerry, and notice the other parking lots that are on here.
Now, wait a minute. Let me go back in on this and real quick. I'm go back to the parking lots in a second. That
Okay.
almost looks like lettering.
You mean the formation of the cars?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
All right, so going to the other parking lots now. I think I went too high up.
Do you
Can
think it's
never be
littering,
too
or
high, right? Do what, brother?
do you think it's lettering, or do you think the white cars are actually numbers forming two sets of numbers?
Now that's a possibility too. We'll have to go back and revisit that after we look at all the other evidentiary parking lots and see if we can't find something in common. All right, so is this another lot over here on the right side?
Yes.
Yep. All right, come on, quit boxing. Polygon graphics integrate.
And notice how full these lots are, Jerry, because they've got cars parked around the edges of the parking lot as well, and even up the side road there.
Man,
But
there's not any room left.
no, and that's why I find it so odd that unless I've just overlooked it, I cannot find one single person that's just randomly caught by Google Earth walking to their car or walking outside anywhere.
Now, this version of Google Earth has a representation for people that isn't people. I want to say it's like footprints or something, but it don't actually show people. This version doesn't.
Okay.
Me and Unirog found that out back when it first come out. We were looking at it. Let me go see if I can get a 2D. Yeah, this is going to be the 2D variation. So let's see if we can see on that. Statue de Shiva.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. Pretty neat little shadow on the ground. Huh. X marks the spot. Anyway.
Yeah, there is nothing that is ordinary looking about that.
This whole complex. And, you know, when you first showed me this, it was kind of a sketch version.
Right.
But I said, you know, it reminds me of hieroglyphics too.
Right, exactly. Do you still have
Different.
that picture that I sent you?
I do actually. I'd have to
I was
pull up
wondering.
Google uh, Hangouts. Give me 1 second. Stop sharing here. Let me pull Google Hangouts up.
I was just wondering if you could slap that on the screen right beside what we're seeing there.
I might be able to do that. Like I said, just give me 1 second, get it pulled up here. It's actually loading pretty quick, surprisingly. What's going on over here in our chat while we're loading up? We got Poppy, Niacus, Pre, Summer, Sharky. Everybody having a pretty good chat over here. Somebody had a weird dream. Talking about frequency and vibration. Somebody realized they should actually pay attention to the show. That's pretty cool.
Somebody said what?
Somebody realized they should actually pay attention to the show. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I always like it when that happens.
Right. At least you know somebody. You got at least one listener. You might have 30 people chatting. You got one person who may be actually listening.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though. As long as you guys are here hanging out with us, we appreciate it. And I think I've stalled enough for it to finally get pulled up here. All right, there we go. So let me open this conversation between you and I.
Yeah, it was a very, very crude little sketch. I did it rather quickly, and You know, when your mind starts racing on a million things, you try to rush yourself so you can get them all in before it flies away.
Oh yeah, that's why I make some like real quick YouTube videos sometimes. So I just have that thought, and if I don't make it, I'll lose it.
Yeah, exactly.
So if it ever decides to open this chat between us, I can actually grab the picture.
Okay.
But for some reason, there we go. For some reason, it was taking its sweet merry time. That's not even the right one. Come on, are you serious? Hang on, guys. I apologize. Give me just a second. My computer's about as fast as, molasses.
Well, just for some of the viewers and people that's involved with what we're doing right now, CERN has been in public operation since 1954. I'm sure the idea and the plans for it will probably go 10, 20 years past that date, truth be told. Seems like 20 years is always a number that the general public is behind when it comes to the government and military and what technology they have. It seems like the general public's always that far back.
Agreed. And I'd even dare say up to 50 years, personally.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got one. Let me go ahead and get this other picture open real quick, and then we'll be on a roll. I can get a side-by-side thing going here. Yeah, the technology they've hidden from us, oh my goodness. I wonder about anti-gravity. And then I wonder about the Space Force and if they're going to come out in the next 6 months to a year and go, oh my God, guys, we've mastered anti-gravity. We figured it out. We've got a whole new way to do space now,
Right. Well, Jerry, what would happen to the general public if they didn't keep this 20-year buffer from us? If all of a sudden they just started coming out every so often saying, well, we had an accident in space and 20 people lost their lives because of a decompression chamber or whatever, and then you started hearing the horror stories of trying to put together these things in space. Well, the general public would be up to say, stop it, we don't want to do this anymore. But if they're going ahead and doing all this stuff without our knowledge, then when they do release something, well, sure, it's going to seem like a big victory and that they hit the nail on the head and that sort of stuff. Because was it Capricorn 1 that blew up? I mean, aside from the space shuttle, but wasn't there one that that was the one that blew up on the landing strip back in the late 60s or 70s?
It may have been Capricorn, I'm not sure, but I do know which one you're talking about, yes.
Yeah, you would have to think that there would have to be a lot of mistakes made in space. And if that information was continuously pumped out, no one would want to fund that.
Yeah, I have to agree, but it kind of goes back to that Oppenheimer told them before they set off the first nuclear test, there's a 50-50 shot that it could completely destroy the entire atmosphere around the Earth. Basically, could end the Earth. 50-50 shot. And some military guy said, you know what? Let's do it. It's only half. What? That's the entire planet. Who had the right to make the call? You know what? Let's go ahead and sacrifice it. Why not?
Right. Well, it also opens up the thought that what if those in charge, some of the ideas that we have about avatars or NPC or just beings around us that are not us to start with, what if they know the actual number within reason and figure, well, it's not a big loss because this part of the world over here doesn't exist, but on paper.
Right. See, that's what got me to thinking maybe the Mandela effect could be some kind of scientist at CERN or any other body that may be messing around with experimentation, because there's certain lines that they're not afraid to cross.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So,
And it makes you wonder about testing, medical testing and everything along those lines as well. You know, when did it stop? When did medical testing on humans stop? I mean, we still have advertisements for people to come into a hospital and check in, and they're going to pay them to test these new drugs. And, you know, people are kind of dumb in that respect.
right, I agree. I don't think medical testing on humans ever really did stop, especially some of these mad scientists.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But if it comes to voluntary and you volunteer for it, is that really a bad thing?
I guess it depends on the outcome for you.
Right. I'm not saying I condone it by any means whatsoever, but if
Right,
you're volunteering for it, that kind of takes the ethics out of it a little bit.
right, it does.
Doesn't make it any more right, but it's not like you're just grabbing people randomly.
Right.
All right, so we've got both images now up on the screen right next to each other.
Okay. Now, if you go to the sketch that I did of that
Uh-huh.
and keep in the circles that are pink or red or whatever color that is, but start taking out in the middle of this arrow shape the other roads and things, and just focus on the main strong lines and the circles. And to me, that has the appearance of what a crop circle would look like, or even some of the lines in Peru. They go on for miles. You know, some of the
The
things only.
NASCAR.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
because
could
there's
see a dog or a horse or something there.
yeah. If you look at this and look at the actual Google picture there is plenty of room to have spaced this out more for this complex, but it's not. It's all
Right.
condensed, and the further back you're going to get away from the planet, the more dominant that shape is going to become. And say, for argument's sake, that out of these circles is where a lot of their main work is being taken place, and that there are frequencies coming from these circles. Well, then that is more of a homing type signal, or an easier, quicker way to lock in on this target.
Right.
The roads themselves on the sides are straight, and outside of the roundabouts, they could even be used as runways if need be.
Very true. Coming in the back here too, same thing.
Right.
Huh. So yeah, I could definitely see crop circle in this. Like you said, take away the buildings, take away the extra stuff.
Right.
Just focus on the shape, the triangle with 3 circles in the middle of it.
Right. Now go to the very top of the Google Earth image, that roundabout up there, that circle, and come down that long road on that side. And what you'll see is halfway down where the other road is, you'll see a smaller roundabout. And then you'll go on down and hit that globe of science. And that's 3 circles lined up down that side. To me, when I saw that, it also made me think about Orion's belt. It made me think of the constellations. So as you would add in the other circles, you might accidentally be charting some way of navigating through space I don't know, back to Sagittarius. I don't know. I don't know where it would go back to, but I would like to see the distance in relation to Orion's belt and see if any of these circles line up close enough to be that. But
well, that's what I'm kind of looking at right now, and the triangle being the sword of Orion's belt, and then the top three circles here being the belt stars.
right.
Where's that third one? I see the little roundabout, the big roundabout. Now, where's that globe at? That's what I'm still looking for.
Let's see. I have to wait for your picture to pull it back down to it. Okay. It's below the big circle, but it'll be to the right, about where the globe is in that position, right? You was almost right on it.
Huh.
Now, I'm not sure who has that place, but it's all right.
So I definitely can see two of them here.
Well, zoom in just a little bit closer on that, on the center one first, and then pull it up, and you should be able to get them all in line because they're all straight down.
What is that? It's kind of walking path or something? Sure is.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. There's that spiral walking path at CERN. There's their gym.
Right now, they're supposedly have everything shut down for the next 2 years.
Is it 2? I heard 3 years. Maybe
I
there's
would
2
say
years.
it's probably not going to be either one. I'm guessing they're probably going to be doing what they want when they want. All right,
Well, it
right
also
there.
depends on what timeline you're going by, because we've seen South America move 2 million years in 2. So
Yeah, yeah.
go back, check our chat real quick, see if anybody's talking to us. I don't see anything for say. Adam says, "Hey, Glenn."
Hey, Adam.
Nayaka says, "Hey." All right. Yeah, I don't see anything specific to our conversation. Okay. So, yeah, that's interesting about the belt stars. Yeah, I'm really on that because I can see that being the sword, albeit upside down, but
You
being the
see the
sword.
red dot? You see the red dot there on the map?
Yeah.
Okay, right in that area is where the third circle should be. Right there it
Got it.
is, to the right of it. Yeah. And then you got a smaller roundabout just down from it.
Okay. So you got that then.
But then
That's
right where your
different
cursor
from what I was
is,
looking at.
move your cursor up to the left in the center of it. Right there.
Right in here? Yeah.
That's one circle, and then above it is the other circle. And then if you go on up, you find the end of it, which is 3 more in line.
And then it takes off this way.
Right.
Huh. So we've got a bunch of different lines coming off the triangle here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 circles in a row here. Then it cuts off to another circle over there. That's intriguing. Like I said, hieroglyphs or crop circles, like you mentioned, it does kind of remind me of both of those.
Well, when you said that the other night, I got to looking at my image just as it's standing right there, and imagine that it's standing up on the ground. That the bottom half of the picture is the base.
Right.
This looks like a very skinny pyramid, and it's almost created like a pyramid where these roadways in the center would be ways of funneling light to different parts on the inside of the pyramid and different chambers inside the pyramid.
Well, if it is a pyramid, you have the all-seeing eye on the very top.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
I've never really looked at that shape and design of this before.
Now, which way is at the very top of the pyramid, which that's what I'll call it now instead of the arrow. At the top of the pyramid, the road that's coming into that roundabout, what direction is it coming from? Is it coming from east? Is it or slightly off, or the
so the one coming from the other roundabout?
Yeah, at the very top of it, as the road coming into it. Is that road coming into it coming from the east?
What it looks like, yes. I don't know our orientation as of.
Right.
Real quick.
But look at my picture, Jerry, and if you'll notice, if the
so
one's
yes,
coming in from
the east, we're right above Italy. Yeah, coming in from the east.
Yeah. Well, you kind of have a morning, midday, and evening roadway system into that roundabout, if you look at it like that.
It does, the little one, the big one, and then the bigger one.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Those two are about the same size. But yeah, I see what you mean. And then back down to the little at the end.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Oh, what's this? 1, 2. Give me a second here.
Okay.
Okay, let's put that back on. I'll quit that. Grr. All right, there you go. Back reborn. All right, we got 1. Hang on. The globe. 2.
That one's a
3. But they're on the outsides of the CERN system, technically.
Right. Now, wouldn't you think that a facility that's been around since 1954 would have at some point acquired that land around them and spaced out a little bit better?
Yeah,
or is it all simply
compacted in this little bitty pyramid?
Yeah, unless it's all simply going down. You know, that's another thought too. It all may be going straight down.
Right.
You know, if you look at the inside of the globe anyway, you've got all the lightning discharges inside, and we know that there's a ton of energy that's untapped. And with the work people do on the Schumann resonance, it could very well be that their power source is straight down, and what they're doing is straight down.
Now that I wouldn't doubt it. Would explain affecting the core and the different weirdness we've seen from the core of the Earth in the last couple of years. If it is a plasmatic ball releasing plasma charges that runs the Earth and interacts with the rest of the planets and the whole electric universe theory. But if that be the case, something's been messing with it lately. They had the 11/11 Earth ripple, which was 6.2 earthquakes had been leading up to that. All of them are at the mantle. All of a sudden, this mantle has a full ripple go through it, and it didn't even slow down. It had no resistance whatsoever from anything around it at all. Something's happened at the core of our Earth affecting everything else above it, possibly. And we have seen a rise in volcanoes and a rise in earthquakes and things like that.
Well, let me throw this idea at you. See what you think about this. What if global warming and climate change is all a mask for what CERN has created? And all the governments of the world, since there's 21 or 22 nations involved with CERN, what if all the nations have decided to come out with man-made climate change problems or man-made global warming to cover up the fact that CERN has done some things and created enough disturbance for the waters to warm up, for the jet streams to change, our weather pattern, everything?
Possibility. CERN has, well, the CERN itself has been running for many years, but the actual experiment hasn't been running except since '08. That said, yeah, I wouldn't doubt that be some kind of cover up, mass cover up, because this is a mass government facility. Global climate change, I think, is the biggest farce they ever came up with. Man has not been around technically long enough to even have that much of an impact on the planet. If it is planet change or climate change, it's got to be due to space weather or something of that nature, in my opinion.
Right.
It could be, as far as like covering it up, CERN could have a hand in it. Its magnetic fields are 10,000 times stronger than the Earth's when turned on.
Right. You know, it's curious though to look at a facility that has the backing of 21 or 22 nations, and they get along well enough with each other to do what they do.
And in this little area, like I'm with you. That the more I think about it over the years, they've all created this little pyramid area. And the pyramid, look at the bottom, Glenn. It's got rockets. See this? Squares at the bottom, like rockets, like an old school hieroglyph we have.
Yeah.
Like, really? What the hell have they created here? Excuse my language.
Do you remember in the
Go ahead.
Do you remember in the first Star Wars movie that was released in the '70s? As when the movie started, you had Princess Leia trying to escape, and that great big monster starship from the Empire was chasing her. That's what that drawing looks like.
It kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the ship from Spaceballs too.
Yeah. Yeah. They may be shutting CERN down because they decided to go into ludicrous speed.
They went plaid. Dude, I used to know that movie word for word, line for line, scene for scene. When most kids were rewinding and watching Smurfs, I was watching Spaceballs over and over.
Yeah.
Michelle, to answer the question you posed, no, the drawing Glenn did is not actually a crop circle. That's a drawing of the image we're looking at on Google Maps. But it looks a lot like a crop circle, and I can totally see that.
Yeah, and there's a theme to a lot of the crop circles anyway. There's always lots of circles, and there's always what appears to be a half of a satellite view in some of them. You've got that kind of a look that or a weapon look to some of the crop circles.
Sorry, I was reading the chat. Repeat that, Glenn. I'm so sorry.
Well, I was going to say a lot of the crop circles have circular patterns, or they have what looks like a satellite picture, or a half of a satellite cut out with the receptor coming out of it, and then or a weapon. Some of them look like weapons.
Right.
But the reason I stopped on the drawing and didn't take the roads all the way out was because when I just sketched them out like that short distance, it had more of an impact to what I was seeing than if I had went ahead and drawn the whole thing to scale and put all the roadways into it. If you just stop it right there at that distance around the triangle or the pyramid, that's when it begins to take on that shape.
Right. And I'm sorry, I don't see it so much in the actual roadmap here. Kind of do, but this drawing, I totally see like a dog or a duck or some kind of creature right here.
Oh yeah, in the center part of it, yeah.
There's
Well,
a snake going up, big red eye in the middle.
yeah.
So
Well, that's kind of what the globe looks like on my drawing. It's got the 18 cross beams across it. It looks like a pupil and an iris. It looks like an eyeball.
It really, really does. All jokes aside, that thing does look a lot like, and I thought about that when I first seen it too. Like the iris and the pupil and all that.
Yeah.
This would be where the color bands come in. Somebody got red eyes, like something horrible going on here. They smoke it way too much.
Well, if you can look at that from the 3D view, or yeah, 3D image of it.
All right, go ahead and take the 3D real quick. There we go. Excuse me. All right, so you should be seeing the 3D now.
It looks eerily similar to the dome of a Capitol, doesn't it?
Or the Dome of the Rock too.
Yeah.
That it does. Wonder how far down to look. What is in there? That is crazy looking. But even crazier is what's the look from the top. Now that's just, I'm with you. That's totally an eyeball.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, I get that Michael Jackson song in my head.
What's that?
I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody says it looks like a portal. I could totally see that.
Let me see here. I finally got the. I had to bring the chat up on my phone. I couldn't bring it up on my screen.
I think the golden totem pole is a crane, guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is. Yeah, you can still see that they're working on this.
Yeah, that's totally a crane.
But look again, though, Jerry, inside the pyramid shape, at how many cars are at this facility.
Okay, so there's that parking lot. We've seen the white lot. There is a ton of cars all up and down the driveways here. Every single slot is
But
full.
where's the traffic on the main roads?
Behind the buildings, in the buildings. I'll come to that in just a second. There's more of these white vehicles.
Yeah.
A lot of them parked around this place, isn't it? The heck?
Yeah.
Gases.
Now Google doesn't schedule a specific time and informs people at CERN, we're going to take a satellite image of your area for Google Earth. You know, it's random. But where are the cars on the main road? All the way around this place, you find a ton of them parked. But where's the traffic? That many cars in the middle of it, there should be a lot of traffic.
I give you that. What in the world happened to that one? He parked the wrong way. That's what you get for parking drunk, buddy. Don't come to work drunk no more.
Yeah. He may find himself in the collider.
Right? We meant lead ions. We didn't mean your whole car. Sorry.
That thing looked rusted too.
It did, didn't it? All to heck. So, okay, so we're within the facility. There's no active car on the road in the facility. Fair enough. How about over here in the town? You've heard of the city that never sleeps? This is the city that always sleeps.
Yeah.
I'm with you, man. I don't see any cars really driving on the roads. Now, let me 2D this, make sure I'm not wrong. No, no driving cars.
You know, the proportion of cars parked at CERN versus outside in the communities there is just huge. It's like everybody lives there, works at CERN, or lives at CERN, and these are possibly dummy houses, like they made the dummy city for nuclear testing out in the desert. You know, remember in the Indiana
Maybe
Jones movie?
you've heard all the stories of the secret space program, right?
Right.
And how they've got all these full everything on Mars and all that. Well, maybe this is where they go in at. Maybe this is the entrance door right here.
Yeah.
They don't really go home to their families. They just, go through the portal. These are all dummy houses. I don't know. I'm just guessing, guys. Do not say that's what 100% golden.
Yeah.
That is far from being set in stone. But that is intriguing, man. The shape and the design of this, I've never looked at that. That is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And like you said, the amount of cars.
You broke up on me. What'd you say?
And like you said, the amount of cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I think I found one driver on the Swiss side. Or is that parked? I can't tell.
Looks like it's driving, but it's one of the white vehicles.
That it is, isn't it?
Yeah. I still cannot figure out, though, the absence of a person.
On this, now, I have talked to some Google photographers personally, and they're very, very adamant, Google is, about what they can and cannot have in a picture. No shadows, no people. That includes mirror images. No wires. No, because we had some work done here in a hotel I live in, and it was really interesting talking to them and finding exactly how specific Google is about these things. That said, that's on the ground photography. This is satellite photography. Don't have so much a choice in that.
Right. That's an interesting shot you've got right there of that white van and that roundabout next. I guess it's a tree beside it. That doesn't look like a parking area.
It doesn't. I noticed that too, but at the same time you did. And they got so much overflow parking, they're parking in the roundabout. What the heck? And that one looks like it done melted into the ground. That was a phase shift gone wrong. No, that's totally just a picture artifact. I know, guys. Don't kill me.
I'd love to know what the side of that truck says.
Wouldn't you, though? I don't think it'll let us see it. It ain't gonna.
Now,
Probably just a black line.
It has a raised cab.
Honestly, with the quality of these pictures, I can't tell what it is as far as raised or not, or it's so cubey and polygonal, and it looks beat up, but it probably isn't. That one looks wrecked and shoved into the pavement. So,
now, where was the statue of Shiva again?
it's at CERN.
No, I mean on the map location.
Okay, now let me go back to the triangle real quick, or to the pyramid as you called it. I like that. All right, back to the pyramid. So Shiva would be up here close to the top, I do believe. Give me a second, girl. Hold on now. We'll find her. Because she casted a distinct shadow on the ground.
Yeah. You'd have to think that where the placement is of that has significance as to what is actually going on in some of the buildings around her, too.
You know, that's an interesting point.
You know, if a lot of this is halfway science, halfway occult, then yeah, you'd think that's where it would be.
All right, guys, you guys are on the screen with us now. There you go. So,
you do know
anyway,
that's a golf course, Jerry. That's a golf course to the right there.
Right there?
Yeah, to the right of that roundabout.
Huh, sure is. They got an obsession with circles, don't they?
Yeah. And nobody playing golf either.
Nobody playing golf, nobody walking, nobody driving, no snow on the ground.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful day. Somebody should be playing golf.
Something. Well, they do have to like do a martial law day or something like. All right, so let's find Shiva at CERN. Shouldn't be too hard. We're pretty much right here at her anyway. Shiva. Switzerland. Marianne. Okay, it was at the other end by the barbecue pit. I think Shiva statue, take me there. Yeah, it was at the other end. There it is. By the rocket. It's right by the rocket.
There's another dome on that building right there too.
Oop, another pupil dome. So Shiva
right there
down in this corner.
Look at that. Stop right there real quick. That dome, you can see that it's almost like Legos. The building in the front is, you can see the side of that dome through it. It's like that circle's been slid in between those two buildings.
It kind of does look like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like you said, like Legos.
Yeah, that's built right. Those two buildings are built right across the top of that thing.
Holy cow. That's neat. Oh, there's Shiva right in front of that. There she is. It. Right in front of the dome building.
Yeah. Wow.
Michelle says, looks like a space has been put in there. Kind of does.
Yeah.
Let's see, 100% where I was. Sweden was not next to Norway. They're talking about the placement of Sweden and Norway. Yeah, I don't see anything really in direct relation besides. Okay, carry on.
You know, wasn't it in the Stargate movie, the first one, that the pyramid come up out of the ground as a ship? Or am I thinking of another movie?
If not, then we've both seen the same other movie. Doctor Who also had an episode where the aliens flew around in a pyramid. That looks kind of like the TIE fighter.
Yeah, I can see that. They've got a real fascination. They've got a real fascination with domes and circular buildings, don't they?
They really do.
Even
The Green Lantern.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The two buildings on the side, and then the circle in the middle, making the lantern shape. Yeah, exactly.
Wow, it's come to this. That is crazy, for real.
If one of us has a visit from a flying ring tonight, we'll
right.
We'll know for sure.
You kidding me? They ever come get me? I'm cussing them for being late. I've been waiting on them for years.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been begging you guys. Where the heck you been? Get caught in the side of Sagittarius or something? I've always said, UFO landed, I'd be the first one to run up, start pounding on the door. Hey, let me in. Let's go.
Oh yeah, definitely. But you know, where you were doing the work on the Schumann resonance, you've got to think that somehow is incorporated into what CERN is doing too. I mean, that's just too big of an issue.
When you're talking about a magnetic field that is 10,000 times that of Earth, it's got to be registering somewhere.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it is something we're trying to account for in the data, but we can't because they don't publish their runnings as honestly as they should. Along with others like Fermilab, and there's like, I think it's 30,000 of these things across the world now.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, it makes you wonder if the ability to go through different dimensions or these portals or what they're doing, if they've finally figured out and realized that the untapped energy is not just in the earth, but it's in the people of the earth, that if they've got people there that can manipulate their own frequency, you know, sort of in a, like in a standstill position, a person I think has 5 hertz is what they resonate at. And we know that different frequencies can, you know, practically debilitate a person or kill them. If there's any kind of training,
it hurts the whole body all said and done.
Well, it makes me wonder if there's any kind of training that they're experimenting with for people to be able to manipulate frequencies on their own. It'd be amazing to know what kind of untapped energy is in the human body, because all of the trace elements are inside the body.
Oh man, there's incredible kinetic and potential energy inside the human body. We literally give it off all the time in electromagnetic forms. That
it makes you wonder.
Go ahead.
It makes you wonder how different different frequencies, like in music even, where different notes and different chords for songs can create a mood of sadness or happy or different things.
Right.
If a person could give off a frequency that's maybe not audible, but just give off a frequency around people, you could paralyze someone, or you could cause someone to be uh, more subservient. Subservient. I'm trying to spit that word out. You know, they could have somewhat control over people, and you know, kind of like in Star Wars with the Force and the Jedi mind tricks. If you could give off something in a frequency level that would cause people to back down or be hypnotized or forget what they've seen, well, that's creating a super soldier of sorts that way.
Well, don't we really kind of do that already? And what I mean is, like, you can feel the energy off anybody. Somebody's having a bad day or in a bad mood. You don't even have to know what's happening. You get near them, the air's thick. You walk into a house where people have been fighting. You know they've been fighting. You don't have to do anything. You can feel it in the air. I
Oh
think it's kind
yeah,
of the same thing there. I think to a degree we do have that ability. I work with the public a lot, and I always keep a smile on my face, and I always keep an upbeat, high quote frequency and high energy, and people can sense that. People feel that it radiates off of you, and
oh
it
yeah,
does affect how they feel. If you're in a bad mood, others around you are in a bad mood. If you're in a good mood, others in around you just can't help but be in a good mood. So to a
right.
degree, don't we already do that?
Yeah, I can agree with that. You know, it's like if you were in a bad mood, like you're saying, and you've got to go into a bank or some place to do business. How many times have you walked into a building already in a bad mood and be saying to yourself, "I don't need any more trouble. I don't need anybody else to give me any problems today." But when you walk in, like you said, you're already projecting that aura of that frequency about yourself, and who could blame anybody for wanting to be hands off and not want to deal with you at that point? So you could
Exactly.
keep creating your own circumstance.
Exactly. Fully agreed. And it's in that way I think we do kind of have a control over each other. Maybe not necessarily mental thought, but kind of it does. If you're in that bad mood, number one, like you said, everyone looks at you and goes, "Yeah, I don't want to be around him." So you already helped them make their decision. You kind of made their decision for them just by projecting this bad mood from yourself. And whereas if you come in with a smile and happy and projecting this great mood, the same person is going to have a completely different thought on how to react with you. And hey, Carla and Dominic, glad to see you guys.
Oh, hey guys. Yeah, see, that's why I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and I told them that I really believe that the ability to read people's minds is already there. Maybe not word for word what they're saying, but just from the impulse off the brain waves, they've have gotten to the point now to where they know that if certain things peak in the brain, that someone's now either lying or telling the truth or going to do something that's dangerous. Uh, Kind of like the movie Minority Report, where they could stop the crime and before it even happened. Uh, a lot of that was foreshadowing of what's probably able to be done now.
I wouldn't doubt that. You've even heard stories of stuff like the coronavirus where they supposedly can see into the future.
Yeah. Well,
So
like remote viewing.
yeah, remote viewing. And on that, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's a great place to put this follow up question. So, on things like remote viewing or the coronavirus or whatever future site version you want to choose, once you've seen that future, whether it be remote viewing or whatever the case may be, once you've seen it, once you've collapsed that wave function, does that set that future in stone at that point?
I would answer that by saying, yeah, at some level it does.
Because if you collapse the wave function, you set that whatever variation may be, into being. In that what the rules say?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, my feeling on time loops is that every time you make a decision or you do an action, that it causes a ripple effect of infinite proportions to where it just keeps going. There's no stop to it. Just like sound, sound waves never cease to exist. Uh, what we're saying right now, the literal words, even the tone of our voice, does not cease to exist. Now, the ability to pull that out of thin air and hear it again is a different question. But sound waves don't die.
They just deteriorate to a really low level of amplitude.
Yeah, I wonder if some of the people that say they hear voices actually have the ability at some level to pull out of the air around them the waves, the sound waves, and really truly hear a voice.
And as much as we say things like "I hate you" or "I hate this world" or "kill, kill, 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 kills" in everything,
Right,
everywhere, and people say,
right,
I hear voices tell me to kill, telling me to kill myself, tell me hate this and hate that. That's a good point. What if they are literally picking up that super, super, super low level, almost subsonic, if you will, sound waves traveling back around?
right. And if time is uh, if time is only past, present, and future, because that's how we judge time and measure time. If time is simultaneous, and you've got past, present, and future all playing out at the same very moment, you talk about a lot of sound waves, a lot of voices, a lot of frequencies. There's a lot going on there.
Oh, yeah. Not counting if you can speak multiple languages. I wonder if cases are higher in multiple language speaking people.
Hmm. You know, you would think that would be something that is more noticeable around the world, things like that. But they've got the translators at the UN, don't they? The little plug-in or
Right.
earpiece device. Um, and of course, we got them now on the phone. I mean, heck, you got an app translate on your phone.
Have you used that app?
I have not.
You'd be better off just trying to take a guess at it yourself at that point.
That's probably accurate.
They're saying bus, your app's saying toilet. So,
Yeah,
you might be a little confused. That's all I'm saying.
yeah. Well, I have enough trouble trying to speak and let it text for me. Then you go back later and
My
look at the
point.
what it typed.
That's my point. This is supposed to work off audio, and somebody's supposed to speak into it, and you're supposed to translate it back to you. Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, you've used the voice to text. It isn't all that great.
No.
And you're talking about multiple languages and accents. Yeah, hang it up. Sorry, they ain't got it perfected yet.
No.
This has been a great conversation, Glenn. I appreciate you coming on, hanging out with us, bud.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wanted to share this with you, and especially since you've been doing a lot of work on the Schumann resonance and things. I figured that might pique your interest as to this layout. I mean, that's a good shot right there on the screen of it.
It almost reminds me of like a computer board.
Yeah, it does. And the road system inside that is almost not always, but it's almost perpendicular to itself going up through there. Um, there's very few things that's out of alignment unless it's a circle.
Right.
More of the white vehicles there.
Oh, they're all over the place.
Now I'm not sure how many years back this picture is.
We can find that out, actually. I hope. They
Well,
usually
it's got
watermark their pictures.
the statue's there, and the statue hasn't been there very long.
That doesn't necessarily mean that picture was taken at the same time this one was either.
Oh, that's true.
Let's see if they got it watermarked on the 2D. Huh, that's strange. Normally get copyright year all over their pictures.
Yeah.
Especially if you zoom in like real close. I won't let us walk around. Oh, we'll let us walk around CERN. Let's walk around CERN.
There you go. Grass needs mowing.
For real.
That's going to be interesting if you let you get close enough. Oh yeah, the pattern right there on that door, where it says CERN on the door.
Yeah.
That's 3 6s.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Set on top of each other. Oh no, that's just the 3 rings of the CERN. Yeah. If
Yeah.
you'll buy that. All right, so see where else we can go here. Let's take a walk through CERN. It's an interesting little arrow set they got there too.
Yeah. Well, doesn't it just look like a ghost town inside there?
Boy, doesn't it? Nothing in the window, really? Can't even accidentally catch somebody?
Now, I
Whoa,
know
look
it
at
would
that.
take a lot of work to airbrush people out of places, and I know they can do it, but I mean, even the grass, that shot you just had there, the grass was 2 foot high right there around that building. Nobody parked at the
On this
handicap
side.
spot.
So I'm back up here. I'm going to try to go to Shiva. See if it'll let us drop in on Shiva. That was the animal shelter for computer mice. Okay, guys. I ain't making this shit up. Animal shelter for computer mice.
Oh my goodness.
They got a sense of humor, that's for sure. Give me one moment, guys. I'll get Glenn's link.
Wow.
That is awesome.
I have never seen something like that before, especially at a facility as serious as CERN.
It really had me. I tell you, animal shelter and something. Didn't expect for computer mice. That one got me.
Good grief. Wow.
People are requesting your page link, Glenn. I'm trying to go over here and grab that real quick for them.
Oh, okay. Wow,
Summer,
that
you're
is,
very welcome. Thank everybody who stopped by the chat so far. We really appreciate it.
yeah, definitely.
I do apologize once again about Bill Bean. You able to catch that Bill Bean yesterday?
No, I didn't catch it. I seen it come up as that was going to be coming on, but I didn't see it.
We had a really good conversation. Got cut a little early by the Gremlins. The Gremlins were really on us yesterday.
Right.
But yeah,
That's
okay. So which one should I
well, the
give them?
top
There's
one.
3 of them.
The top one is just my personal page where I keep like music I like to listen to. But the other 2 below that, one's for Mandela effects, and then the other one is for my wildlife and Sasquatch research. So,
All right. So I'm going to drop the Mandela effect page first, guys. So first
And that's
link
a
coming up
UFO
in
right
chat.
there.
That's a real deal UFO that you caught yourself?
Yeah, I took that picture of it. Yeah, I've got several of them.
Nice. How many encounters have you had, Glenn?
With Sasquatch or with UFO encounters?
Sorry, I guess I should be more clear. UFO encounter.
Two that I can definitely say could not be explained away.
This one, guys, is the Sasquatch page dropping in chat now.
And if you zoom in on that header photo, that's a track line picture looking down from 80 feet above a cave entrance.
It'll let me zoom in on everything but the picture. You see that?
Picture, yeah.
But yeah, I do kind of see. You guys want to go to his page to see this? I apologize, it's not showing up for crap. But I do see the outline of the foot there you're talking about.
Yeah, I've actually got a early date for a speaking engagement in July in Illinois. I usually do about 3 or 4 seminars. You know, I don't really like to do a whole lot because I'd rather be out in the woods looking.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Hold on a second. I zoomed in the chat way too much. Oh, come on. Hang on. For some reason, I'm on one window and it's doing it on the other. Oh, are you serious?
You know, truthfully, I'm surprised we haven't had a lot of glitches and a lot of buffering since we were talking about CERN. I really expected a lot of problems with it.
I did too, truth be told. I really did too. And we haven't seen that.
No.
Give me a second, guys. I know, got all kind of junk on the screen. Hang on, I lost your chat box. We're batting 1,000 tonight.
Somebody says that they're my 100th sub. Carla Red Pill.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Carla's
you know, that's something I don't. That's something I don't do either. Is I really don't push and promote any of my channels. I just let people find me.
And that's the way to do it, really.
Yeah.
I got to stop the screen share real quick for a minute, guys. Let me get this pulled back up here. I cannot even see you guys' chat right now.
I'll keep on the chat here. What do I win? You win a free walk around CERN tonight.
Appreciation and admiration.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. You know, I am going to try to give some things away on my Squatch channel. There's some things I've been making and using out researching. So later in the year, that'll be something that you can watch for on that channel as well.
Oh, good deal. Very nice. Giveaway?
Yeah.
I like it.
You know, something I don't do, and I thought about this the other day, is I do a lot of artwork and a lot of oil paintings and sketches and different medium, but I have never sat down and drawn a Sasquatch. And I have had 2 visual encounters enough that I could do it. But for whatever reason, I have never even thought about trying to do it.
Really?
It's odd.
Yeah, I'd say so. That is pretty odd in my book. If I would have seen something like that, even though I can't even draw right, I'd have definitely given.
Yeah. I mean, I've painted other wildlife, but I have never attempted that.
I'm losing memory here. My system's slowing way down. I got to get rid of stuff.
Your
Cordy, no wonder
picture there looks like the thinker.
way down.
We're going to have to keep tabs on your picture there. You look like the thinker, and see if you change hand position.
Right. Wouldn't that be something, huh?
Yeah.
All right, I think I've got the issues fixed. Now I've got to get stuff reopened here. Give me, I can't see the chest, so give me a moment. This thing's being incredibly stubborn tonight.
You know, the only time I've ever had my computer messed with is when I tried to do some research on NORAD out in Colorado, and immediately I hit a link, and immediately when I did, it just froze everything, and it said that I was receiving information back. On the very bottom, sometimes they'll say waiting for a response if it's slow to load. Well, I got this message that I was receiving information, and I couldn't do anything else, so I just immediately just killed the power, unplugged the thing, just stopped it all. I didn't know at that point what was going to happen. So,
no doubt, sounds kind of scary, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I didn't want to hit the wrong key on the keyboard and send a nuke off somewhere.
No, Michael, I can't do that.
Yeah.
War Games.
Yeah.
Oh, great movie. I think his name was Michael. Great movie. What about a Yeti? Do you think the Yeti is the same thing as the Sasquatch, or like a different creature altogether, or what?
I think it's in the same family of primates. There's a little bit of discussion as to whether or not it's in the bear family.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never in the bear family. I've heard that as maybe a debunk, but I've never heard it actually seriously being considered in the bear family.
Yeah, some of the colorations that like black and white, similar to like a giant panda, or there's I can't think right offhand the name of the bear that's over there. It's a very odd looking bear anyway. You might want to Google that later and look at it, but the picture of it, I mean, its face is enough to make you think you're looking at something that's not a bear.
Interesting.
So a lot of misidentification on that, but yeah, I think.
So, do you think that'd be the case? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry about that.
I was just going to say, I think there's a lot of subspecies and of Sasquatch around the world and in different spots. Hawaii is the only place that's never had a report of one.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that either. So, do you think a lot of Sasquatch cases are misidentifications?
I think it's half and half. I think half of them are misidentifications, and then if you take the other half of the reports, there's probably something there. But if anybody's wanting an experience, they can make their mind think that they've experienced something and change the evidence around. I just don't think there's as many out there as people want to say there is.
Right.
I've
never heard of a bear either. So.
Yeah. Well, in my state of Kentucky, if I compare them to a black bear and how much home range a black bear would need to comfortably live, an animal that big or a primate that big, there couldn't be any more than, in my opinion, 10 to 30 in existence living in the state of Kentucky. There's just not that many.
How many, in your opinion, would you say would be worldwide, whether it be subspecies or whatever the case may be? Generally speaking.
Generally speaking, I think maybe across the United States, maybe 1,500 or less, because you're going to have a gap in the middle of the country where
Right.
the land and the habitat's just not suitable for it. But then if you take in Canada and the northern part of Russia and Alaska, you've got a lot of wilderness there where they could be a heavy population there. Probably the most are in that location. I'd say their numbers probably range somewhere along the same line as gorillas.
Interesting. Interesting. I'm just waiting. Like I said before, I kind of live in a hotel, which is really good for people trying to get access to me. I get a lot of security there. But
Yeah.
I get a view from where my window is and what floor I'm on. I've got a perfect view of our parking lot end to end. Now, I live in a mountain. Like, not even joking. I live at the top of a mountain. I live at the base of a ski mountain.
Wow.
Yeah, it's beautiful up here. Very crisp and white right now. But I'm just waiting to look at, and it's one of those little bitty mountain towns. You know what I mean? One of those little stuck in the 80s. Everything's the old wood architecture, just really old style town.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to look out here one day, parking lot, and just see a Sasquatch just tromping through the parking lot like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Not happened yet, but I'm waiting for it.
Yeah.
We've
some of
we've got bears and all the rest of it up here, moose and everything else. So why not?
have you seen a bear up there yet?
I've not seen it. I've seen signs where they've been spotted locally and close in the area, but I've not personally laid eyes on one yet.
Yeah. Well, if you're out walking in the snow or anywhere around there and you see what you think is a Sasquatch track, take a double look at it, because when a bear walks, it'll put its hind foot down in the track that its front foot made, and it'll make the track appear longer and give the same appearance of toes. But with a bear, you'll see the claw marks.
Well, guys, did you hear that? I don't know about you guys, but I just learned something new. When identifying a bear track, remember they step in their own front paw tracks. That's interesting to know, Glenn. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I've seen several castings where people said, "I've got a Sasquatch track here." No, you don't. You got a bear track.
I can see how that could easily be a misinterpretation, though. Definitely.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
easily live unnoticed. Rigo says Northern California is a vast area and those redwoods are gigantic. The redwood, something as big as a Sasquatch, could easily thrive unnoticed.
Exactly. And I think they spend a lot of time in trees, to be honest about it. I think the young definitely spend a lot of time in the trees.
Think that could explain why they seem to disappear? Think they might run up a tree or something like that?
Yeah, I do. And I think some of the tree structures that you see, if you go on, there's some people that just focus on structures made by Sasquatch. And these tree structures, which have been put together in such a manner that no person could do it because of the weight and the length of the trees.
Right.
A lot of that structure could be made to, if they're chasing, say, an elk or a deer, and they run into an area that they put a structure up, it could funnel them, change their direction to where they could easily be caught. Because it's not going to be an easy task for a Sasquatch, no matter how big one is, to take down an elk. I mean, another 1,000-pound animal, or even a deer.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys ever stood beside an elk or a moose, but them things ain't no joke.
Oh yeah, exactly.
They are gargantuan. It doesn't take but a knock of a head, and your day's done.
Right, right. And it's not out of the realm of possibility that a Sasquatch, if it spent its life chasing down deer and elk and having to battle with that to bring one down, that if it saw a lone human being walking in the woods, to think, there's 160 pounds that I can easily take down.
Right. Plus, if they're
There's
smart enough to build these shelters and blinds and things like that, that shows a higher level of intelligence too.
Oh yeah, definitely does. And if you look at like the missing 411 books that David Pilates writes,
Uh-huh.
when you look at the United States, we've had over 600,000 people go missing in the last 10 years. The majority of them's gone missing in state parks, in federal parks.
Yeah,
So,
that really scares the crap out of me. I spent a lot of this summer in national forested area.
oh yeah, yeah, and it's usually real quick. The disappearances that there's no sign of where they've went, other than the fact that someone said, "I'm gonna." Like one case that he was sharing, this lady said, "I'm just going to step over the ridge and take a picture of this lake." And the guy watched her step over the ridge to take the picture. She never came back. And when they went that direction, there was no sign, no tracks, no sign of a struggle, nothing. Never found again.
Well, my favorite story is the guy from New York. This guy's on the top of a mountain skiing, full gear in New York, disappears. A week later, this man shows up in California, still in the exact same gear that he had on, head to toe, in an airport, had no idea how he got there, no ID, no nothing.
Wow. Wow. And see that crosses back over into what is the real reasoning behind the Mandela effects. Is it interdimensional issues? Is it time loops, timelines? How do how these people cross from one place to another and just suddenly appear there? There's a theory too that Sasquatch is interdimensional. That when you see one, it's because they've chosen to let you see them. That they're in that area. And a lot of people have had a lot of weird things happen along with just the sighting itself.
Haven't they also been connected a lot to UFOs?
Yeah, yes, I have. And lights is another another issue that some people have with them is that they will see a pale blue or greenish color light either before or after a sighting. And I've had that happen one time. And for me, there just wasn't enough evidence to connect the two, but I have had that happen in the woods.
So tell us of your last sighting with a Bigfoot. I got to step away for just a half a second, but go ahead and tell our audience about your last sighting of a Bigfoot creature.
Okay. Uh, it started in 2016. A friend and myself, fellow researcher, we had went down to a 9,000 acre park. It's actually still is run by a local college. And we hiked about 7 miles up this mountain and beautiful old trees, 200-year-old trees and rock walls and cliffs and caves and as we were coming back out, we saw something on the ground and it was rolling. And at first glance, I thought, oh well, this is going to be neat. This is a bear rolling there because there are black bears there. And it stood up and jumped behind a tree and started peeking out around the tree at us. And what it was actually a juvenile Sasquatch that was about 5 foot tall. And it was about 60 yards away from us. So we had a pretty good look at it. And while we were watching it, we heard a couple of snaps of twigs or limbs across from it. And when we turned to look, a larger one stepped into view at about the same distance. And the sun was going down on that side of the mountain, and the sun was coming back into our face at that point. And we
Right.
couldn't see really clear, but we could see the outline. And we were trying to take pictures and video, both of it, and all. But the larger one had an aura around it created by the sunlight. So while we watched it, it never did anything any more than just stand there and look. And both of us got in our mind that if we had taken more steps forward, because there was a juvenile there, that it may have been a bad situation. Like if a bear has a cub there, you definitely don't do that.
Right.
So we backed away, and as we backed away, it backed away, and we lost sight of the little one completely at that point. And when we came home, we were going through our cameras and looking at the pictures and the videos. And I accidentally, without realizing it, when I was trying to view and zoom in on the larger one, which was the mother, I actually caught the smaller one a little clearer than what the son was letting me get the mom on, just for like 8 seconds or so of the video, because I had no clue I was videoing it. So if I had of, I would have kept filming.
Of course.
But the little one grabbed a tree in front of it and was shaking it up and down, bending it up and down across its chest, which is something primates do. And I do have a little snippet of that video on my Sasquatch YouTube channel. I put it up there and just let people decide for themselves, because we knew what we were seeing. But unfortunately, with cameras, what you have to deal with is a camera will focus on the closest object to it and bring that into focus. If you zoom in on an object, it will not only take you to the object you're trying to see closer, but everything beyond that object, the camera pulls up tight behind it. And so you don't really get a true idea of depth perception per se on it. So we went back to do a recreate. And when we got there, I went to the same spot. We took pictures from the same locations at the same time of day, 2 weeks later. There was no aura from anything. There was no bush that could have accidentally been creating a shadow. I went and stood where the larger one was, and we took side-by-side comparisons, and we figured out that the larger one was about 3 foot taller than I was. And one of the pictures I have that is, to me, just excellent on what a camera does. I had on camouflage pants when we were doing the recreate, and a red shirt. Well, the camera, because it could not make out the camouflage pants, it just blended it in with the background and made it look like I was a floating torso out there. Which I thought that was really, really cool.
Is this the video you were talking about?
Yeah, right there. If you pause it right there.
All right.
Okay. From the point of that pin, that's the tree branch that goes up at a 45-degree angle across it. The solid, you can see the round dark head just above it, and then the shoulder coming down. And I'm scrubbing through the thing frame by frame, and it bounces that tree up and down. And that was about a 6 to 8 second clip that I've slowed down to whatever the time, I can't see what the time says on it. But if I didn't tell you anything was in that picture at all, it should be enough to notice that that coloration doesn't belong there.
Right. Yeah, I can see a head or something very clearly.
Yeah, it's
too far. Here we go. We'll just go full screen. That's what we'll do. Get a good view of it.
Actually, I've had a forensic video analysis guy tell me that was a good video. He goes by the name Thinker Thunker on YouTube.
Gotcha. All right, here we got a really good shot. You kind of see some ears or something right there, maybe. A head. See a shoulder, little body or something there. And then I see that when you're talking about that 45-degree angle branch right there.
Yeah. Now watch how blurred it gets when it puts its arm across that 45-degree angle sapling. It'll blur it out because it's moving. You don't see anything else in the picture moving other than the camera's a little shaky. Right. And nothing else is moving. See how the face got darker?
Right there especially is a really good view.
Yeah, and you see the pointed head, the crown of its head there.
Uh-huh. Get a really good idea. There's something there. It's moving slow. Or are you just going frame by frame on this?
Frame by frame. Yeah, I wanted to be able to see if I could tell that that branch, if it was bouncing it up and down, and see how much it was moving in it. It looked like to me it was bouncing it about maybe 6 to 8 inches across its body, just lightly bouncing it.
Okay, guys, you're wondering what he's talking about. Watch the right side, the arm right in here. I hope you guys can see my cursor. But right in here, right where this branch comes across, watch the blur effect. I just seen it. It'll blur like it moves real quick. There it is.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about, that little blur where it looks like it moved. Well, it's a little too far, but I hope you guys were able to see that. Bring it back again one more time.
I think that's
the arm will kind of blur up here. Yeah, right there.
That's in within 100th of a second too, probably, on that one frame shot.
Then it had to have that. It caused that blur effect in that short of a time frame. Interesting. So there's that video, guys. That's really, really cool. Great evidence.
Thanks.
Close we've got.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to me, I know what it was, but on my pages and channels, I just simply always put, you decide. Here's the evidence, you decide.
Of course, and as it should be. That's awesome. Yeah, that's one thing that I like, and I try to do myself. I don't try to make any conclusive finalization statements. I like to present the evidence. Here's what I'm looking at, guys. Here's the conclusion. What do you think?
Yeah. Now I will tell you this. We went back again 2 weeks after that and took a trail cam with us. Now I don't think I got these pictures on YouTube. I need to upload them to YouTube. But we put the trail cam out, went back up the same trail, and we had decided that we were just going to stay up there, not make any noises, let it get dark on us, and see what comes in because of how close we were to that happening.
Right.
And as we were leaving to go, my friend stepped on this rock and he twisted his ankle, and we literally had 2 miles to keep coming down off the mountain, and the mountain was at about a 45-degree angle on the trail, so he was having a tough time. And as we were walking out, it was already dark, and this rock about the size of a football went flying above our heads and bounced off about 4 or 5 trees. I mean, really hard. And it scared the devil out of both of us. And nothing, no other sounds, and we just kept going. Well, we got about another 30 yards down the hill, and I remembered, I left my trail cam out up there. So we had to discuss about what we were going to do about it, and my trail cam was in the direction that the rock was being thrown from. So my buddy couldn't go back up the hill because of his ankle. So he said, I'll shine my spotlight on you as long as I can, and then just grab the trail cam and come on back.
Right.
Which was a comforting thought to me, that he was just going to hit me with a flashlight. So I walked back up there towards that direction, and I'm thinking to myself, if a Sasquatch just threw this big rock at us, and I'm walking back up towards it, it's got to be thinking, what is this idiot doing? So I get on up there and go around the edge of this little ridge top, around this rock formation. My buddy's light couldn't reach that far, so I was just in the dark with a little flashlight. I find my trail cam, and I'm taking it off the tree and turned it off. We got it back. Well, when I got home that night, I was going through the pictures, 3 pictures were snapped on that trail cam. One of the pictures had eye shine, the light reflecting out of the eyes, you know, of an animal. Had the eye shine of 3 things looking at the trail cam. And from a measurement out from that trail cam, one of them would have been about 5 to 6 feet tall, which may have been the little one. The other one was probably in the 7.5 foot range, and the other one was well above 8 feet high. But what really got me, though, was when I looked at the timestamp of that picture and what time it was when I grabbed the trail cam. I was within about 5 minutes of that picture having been taken, and then me taking the camera down. So they could have still been standing right there watching me take that trail cam down, and I would have had no clue because I don't possess night vision. I can't see in the night.
Ooh,
So they could.
That is wild. Just to know they could have been that close, at least within a good radius of you, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was only about a 10-minute estimate of what we had. 10 minutes between the time the rock was thrown and me turning the camera off and taking it off the tree. And some of that time was in walking up to it. So
Carla Red Pill asks, Glenn, do you think they are multidimensional or just left over from another time?
I'm going to answer that question yes and yes. And the reason I am is I think you have to be open-minded on anything until it's actually proven to be one way or the other. I think you have to be open to any possibility. But now my personal thought is that it is a flesh and blood creature, and it's probably did she say a holdover from? Is that how she phrased it?
Leftover from another time.
Yeah, it could very well be what would be termed as a missing link, or I hate to say it this way, with the way it's been able to elude people and live in the wild like this for so long, it may even be smarter. You know, it's just that its life is in a different way than ours.
Gotcha. I personally, I'm sure you and I have discussed this idea before. I've discussed it with a couple of people. I'm kind of on the idea that perhaps their fur may have a certain quality to it where it could bend light and they could literally just disappear by whether it be turning a certain way or maybe water or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I believe that too. And it's translucent hair is what it is. Some types of a polar bear has that to an extent, and some animals do as well. You kind of get, like you said, with it being translucent, it's able to catch the light from certain angles, and with very little movement, it can be gone. It wouldn't take much to be able to do that.
See, that makes a lot of sense to me. That would explain why they would appear to disappear. Well, yeah, figure that one out. They would appear as if they disappeared right in front of people, even though they could just maybe turn a certain way or stand at a certain angle where it just makes them go out of our line of vision, if you will.
Right. Oh, and Carly, you're welcome on the question. But yeah, they definitely possess more than just strength and speed and the other attributes that they have for being as large as they are. It's a huge advantage for them to be able to remain motionless and just turn slightly, or in some cases, as the sun moves on its own. I mean, you got to think some of these ambush kills, that's as how they are thought of as getting deer and elk. They would have to set or stay in a place motionless for quite a while.
Right.
You know, to get a animal that big close enough to them, and it can be done. I've done that deer hunting. I've stayed motionless and have had deer come within 10 yards or less of me before realizing what I was.
Right.
Yeah, translucent hair is a huge theory that I'm really surprised not, a lot of people hasn't really embraced that just yet. But
I think it'll start to pick up a little bit more throughout the circles here pretty soon. It's becoming more and more of a commonly found thing. Like you said, we found polar bears have that attribute.
yeah, yeah, and a lot of birds have that as well. You know, just the natural order of things, like in with fish, fish are lighter on the bottom, and then they have their colors and markings on the top of them and on the sides. Well, that's for hunting purposes. And when you're a fish down low and you look up and all you see is a white object or something blending in with the surface, you know, from the bottom of another fish, you're not going to go up and get it. But if that fish was below you, you'd be able to attack it, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. Let me ask you, tell me about the Sasquatch tree structures.
Okay, this one right here, I filmed this to show people what it is not. So if you pause it right there, yeah, perfect. All right, the larger tree on the right has a limb that the tree beside it has grown around. And you can see where it's molded around it. Well, someone has taken an obvious chainsaw and cut that limb off.
Right.
But someone, and I've seen this done with other researchers, they'll come in and say, "Oh, well, that's a tree structure the way this is, because on up the trees kind of wrap themselves up a little bit." Well, what you're looking at isn't a tree structure made by Sasquatch. As far as the limb being cut off. Now, for that limb to have been grown around by that tree would take a lot of years to do.
Right.
So my theory on this particular tree right here was that the limb before it was cut off would have crossed the other tree on the left, and the way that tree grew in between, it would have came up, and at some point, as they would have been growing at the same time, because the cut off limb is almost as big around as that tree, they would have grown together naturally. So it's not necessarily that years ago something bent that around and wrapped it. That's
Right.
just a natural formation with the limb cut off.
Those trees just happen to be that close to each other.
Yeah, just happened to be in that particular spot, and that's the way they grew.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's clear. Somebody took a chainsaw to that.
Yeah, and you see how the trees go up and they wrap around each other at the top, going up. To me, that's exactly what happened with the middle tree growing over top of that limb that's coming out.
Right.
But
this is just a natural formation then.
Natural formation. They're way too tall to have been wrapped up there.
So, do you go on in this video to show us an opposing structure?
Not in this video, no.
Okay.
But there are some videos. There may be a few that's in there that may have one. Oh, there's the track line at the bottom coming out of that cave.
Right here?
Uh-huh. That's sand down below there. And you can see the almost straight line tracks that's coming straight out of that cave.
Right. The darker areas, are those the tracks you're referencing?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I've got some very good zoomed in pictures on one of the sites of that as well.
And let me ask you, what height are you taking this picture from?
It's about 80 feet up.
So that's a pretty big track then to show up that size at 80 feet.
Yeah, I was kind of guessing at around 16 inches, 17 inches. And of course, the sand is going to make a track appear larger anyway, because the sand's going to give way easier than dirt, you know, so it's going to spread. So.
Right. And you can tell it's clearly pushed down into the sand, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've been in that cave, but the water was up out of a creek, which actually creek's big enough to be a river, on away from there. So the only way to get into that cave is going up that water line, which I couldn't do
And
because it
how
was
close is
flooded.
this in relation to sightings you've had?
This is about 30 miles further south.
Gotcha. It's a pretty good little distance then.
Yeah, yeah,
Gotcha.
but it's a hot spot that I've got too, and I've got there's a lot of caves and abandoned coal mines in that area that I go through all the time. So it's also the site of a Civil War skirmish. I wouldn't call it a battle.
Right, but a skirmish at least.
Yeah.
Which there were actually quite a few of those down through Kentucky and Tennessee and all that. Little change of subject here, real quick. Glenn, did you feel the earthquake the other day?
No, I didn't. I think there's been two in the last 6 months that's been recent enough, but I haven't felt either one of them.
Gotcha. I heard about it. It blows my mind. I leave Tennessee. What? I've been here a year now. Last winter, Tennessee got hit pretty good in the south, and we didn't get much up here in the mountains. This year seems to be the same case. Now they're getting earthquakes over there. Like it's like ever since I left, things just went goofy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, now that last picture there that you brought up, that's probably about 35, 40 miles north of the Tennessee line. So it's pretty well down in
It's
southern
pretty
Kentucky.
close to it. What's that over Christian County?
Rockcastle County.
Okay. Know exactly where
Uh,
that's at.
yeah, it's straight down the I-75 interstate corridor.
Gotcha. Yep. I know where that's at, definitely. Um you're a pretty good ways from Hoptown, right?
Um, yeah, about 2.5 hours, I think.
About 2 hours, 2 hours. Gotcha. I spend a little bit of time over in Hoptown here and there. Nice area. It really is. Like it's nice for what it is. Put it like that.
Right,
The
right.
South is completely different than the North or the Southwest or anything else, you know.
Yeah, Kentucky really has about um, 12 million acres that are forested. Uh, there's still a lot of area that there's not many people or any people at all in some spots.
Yeah, how much is it owned by the Amish?
That I don't know, but there's no telling. Of course, they have a big community up in southern Indiana too.
If there are any Amish watching this, number one, you shouldn't be watching this. Number two, I love the Amish.
Yeah, yeah. They've got a community near Bedford, Indiana, or south of Bedford, Indiana. Can't think of the name of it right now.
They got quite a few over there. They sell some really amazing goods. Truth be told, the Amish goods are just absolutely incredible. So clean and pure and non-GMO'd and non-messed with, you know?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Traditional styles of doing things.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
Glenn is crossing over 2 hours here, and my nicotine meter's about to go cuckoo. But no, seriously, it's going to cut off part of the stream if we don't go ahead and cut it now. So I do appreciate you coming on, hanging out with us, bud. Hope to
yeah,
have you get back really, really soon.
yeah. I enjoy it. Appreciate it, man. I just thought I thought you'd definitely like to see that about CERN and then those images, and of course carry on the research of it too.
Undoubtedly, brother. I do appreciate. Yeah, those images are I've never, like I said before, I've never looked at it like that. I've never even looked at that whole pyramid structure like that. I went and did the underground tours and all that, but I've never really looked and seen what it looked like from the air. So I appreciate that, and I'm definitely gonna do some more looking into that. Those structures are the shape of them are intriguing at best.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
agree.
yeah, I'll definitely look into those. Thank you so much again for being here, Glenn. It's been an absolute pleasure, brother.
All right. Appreciate it, man. And same to everybody that's followed and watched us tonight too. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys in chat. You guys have been absolutely amazing. You really have been. There's some of you guys who stuck with us since the moment we turned this on. You guys are troopers because I was babbling for like 10 minutes. So thanks everybody for joining us, hanging out with us. Glenn, you want to stick around just a minute? You're more than welcome to.
Okay.
Want to thank everybody for hanging out with us. It's been absolutely wonderful tonight, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this fireside chat stream. We will talk to everybody later. And remember, always stay awake, but dare to dream. Bye, everybody.